Well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another stream on a Wednesday. Wow, I skipped a few days. Yo, what's happening? We got L thing in the chat already saying, would you... Hey, Nala. Oh, my cats are saying hi. You can see Kimbap in the background there. And Nala just hopped onto my lap. Ugh, we're going to transfer out of here in a bit. But hello, guys. Happy Wednesday. I've been gone for a little bit. I was taking care of a lot of random stuff. We'll get into it. L asked, would you rather of the day? Would I rather what? Let me see. He said 180 kilometer walk, 540 kilometer bike, or 3,000 kilometer car ride. Christ. I think I'll choose the car ride. I'm assuming I can put it in autopilot. Maybe there's someone else driving and I could just sleep in the car. I don't know. There must be a number of things where I'd rather be in the car than imagine biking for that much. Daytor says, hello, Yobel. Hello, chat. Guten Abend, Daytor. Thank you for being here. Thanks, El, for the question. I honestly don't know. It sounds like all of it does sound like torture. So there's that. Daytor says, your cats, the stars of the stream. Yes, of course. What is she doing? Why does she look like she's hunting right now? What the? Hey, okay, usually I don't allow her to come up here, but she looks so adorable here. What the heck? Okay, Nala, come on. You can't be there. No. Come on. Nala. Get down. Good girl. Come on. Go. Jesus. Putting on a show for us already, says Nala. Let's just see. Oh yeah, so anyways, introduction again. My beautiful girl, Nala, over there, making an entrance. And then Kimbap, oh, he's in between my cameras. You can kind of see him right... Oh yeah, there he is, right behind me. So yeah, my cats say hi. Elle says all equal to around 9 days. Oh, you know what? Especially with what you're saying there, I would choose the car ride. I think I've done something similar in Ireland a long time ago. Let me actually look it up. A long time ago, I did it might even have been 9 days. I did like a week and a half trip to Ireland, I think, where I drove a crazy amount of hours and distance. Let's see. I know I wrote it down somewhere. It's probably in my Instagram. Let's see if I can find my trip to Ireland. This would have been a long time ago. Portugal, India, USA, Singapore, Norway. Here it comes. Jordan, Lebanon, Budapest, Poland, Ireland. Okay. I think it was in my Instagram story highlights. And one of the first one, I think I put it on there where I said explicitly, Christ. This trip was 419 weeks ago. All right, give me a second, guys. Usually I let my ADHD win, but this time I'm going to be singularly focused to answering L Thing's question before I hop onto 1,000 things. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Ha ha ha. I guess I can share my screen now. Hold on. Okay, what did I have written here? It says 8 days, 27 plus hours, and 1,700 plus kilometers. I took about 1,500 plus photos, and of course I was exaggerating with 0 hours of sleep. But yeah, so L Thing, funny enough, I had a circumstance somewhat similar to what you are suggesting, where instead of 9 days, I did 8 days. Instead of 3,000 kilometers, I did about 1,700 kilometers. And it was about 27 plus hours of driving in total across the 8 days. I loved it. I love long drives. As long as you have I don't know, I think I was listening to a bunch of audiobooks at the time. So if you got some podcasts or books or whatever to keep you company, it could be very soothing, especially on freeway, highway, or not freeways, like countryside roads, things like that. That is when it is very, very, very fun. Anyways, hold on before we get into it. Let me say hi properly. Elle says 1,700 kilometers is nowhere. Oh, you said 5,200? No, oh no, you made a mistake. You had a typo there. Or no, maybe you're doing a typo now. You said 1,700 kilometers is nowhere something. I'm assuming you're saying nowhere near 5,200 kilometers. But then previously you said 3,200 kilometers a couple times. But yeah, you are correct. Even if you said 3,200, obviously 3,200 is almost double that of 1,700. But I would still prefer it. Like the logic still holds for me that I prefer just being able to like zone out while I'm driving, that as opposed to being on a freaking bike out in the elements, especially if you're in somewhere in Europe. I don't know, is it going to be like raining half the time? Not for me, dog. And then walking, hell no. 3,200 miles, not kilometer. Ooh, yikes. Wait, 3,200 miles? What does that mean in kilometers? I don't know how to do the conversion. Listen, I'm not here to do math, okay? Welcome, guys. Welcome to my 166th stream. It is a Wednesday. It's about 8:30 p.m. my time. So I am starting quite late. Also, I haven't streamed in the past almost a week. So I appreciate you guys hopping in here and joining my company. Why was I not streaming? Partially, so the last stream I did, if you guys were there, I had an issue with one of my hard drives, and it was one of my main hard drives, the G-RAID 44 terabyte hard drive, where as I was streaming and editing some stuff, it crashed on me a couple times, but once way too hard. Okay, the last time it crashed, it basically gave me like the red light of death. Right now it's fine, and I did wipe a lot from it, but I'm still waiting to take it to the shop and all that kind of stuff. But basically I was busy over the past few days just trying to manage my data storage situation, and then while I was doing that, I was catching up on like work related stuff. So for example, you guys won't see it yet, but I've been working, and today I just filmed the final pieces to the puzzle, essentially. So there's going to be a bunch of travel vlog episodes that I'll be pushing out there in the coming weeks, related to my most recent trip, which was to Munich, Uganda, and Tanzania over 2 months. So I decided I'm going to turn that into like vlog episodes, because I have so much content. It's like, you know, terabytes upon terabytes worth of content. So it's going to be a mixture of like talking head, me giving context, some selfie shots that I did while I was traveling, obviously the cinematic photos and videos from what I was shooting, and then also some action camera footage, like first person point of view as I was, you know, doing my jungle treks or whatever else I was doing, combining it all together to hopefully tell a decent story. So anyways, I filmed a bunch of that. So the first episode I'll be working with my editor, and hopefully we get something out there soon. Yo, we got BC in the chat. BC says, yo, just the man I need to connect with. Hells yeah. Well, I'm glad you are connected. All right, we will mind meld. Happy Wednesday. My cats and I say hello. Right now I'm drinking this like a tea, which I cooled down, but it's called the Throat Coat. So apparently coats the inside, you know, I don't know, but basically I have a scratchy throat and I was speaking a lot for my recordings. So if my voice is scratchy, I'm trying to fix it. What do you think, Nala? Look at this pretty girl. Bloop, 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 bloop. Kimbap, I don't know where he is. But yeah. All right, so that was my quick little... BC says throat goat. No, you misheard me, kind sir. It is quite the name. It's throat coat, as in it coats the inside of your throat. Okay, don't get it twisted, my friend. All right, so I think that's enough of the context. I appreciate you guys being here, because I have been gone for quite some time, and it's about 9 p.m. That's okay. We're in a good spot. Hopefully the audio levels and everything are fine. Hold on, let me double check. I can probably turn that down slightly. I always forget what my settings are when I'm gone for a while. All right, there we go. Okay, okie dokes. So what is on today's schedule? What are we going to do today? What is on today's agenda is what I mean. Today I will be focusing on editing my Sri Lanka and photos and videos. Uganda is what I was working on for the past number of days on stream. However, while I was out, so since my last stream, I was dedicating all that time to edit all of my Uganda trips. So everything's done. I've exported them into files that my editor can also consume. So for now, we can put a pause to Uganda, and I wanted to focus on some of my past trips. So Sri Lanka, we finished our Mongolia travel vlog. So now I wanted to move on to finalizing and wrapping up Sri Lanka as like the next series. What software do you edit on? Oh, by the way, if you guys notice something, I put the teleprompter back onto my main camera here. So you can kind of see on the edge right there, because I'm using a wide angle lens. I'm using a 20mm, so it's slightly too wide for the prompter. So you can kind of see the edges of the prompter and everything, which is fine because I usually just crop in. But what you'll notice, and I kind of like this, is when I put this teleprompter on, it's probably also because the glass is not the cleanest. I need to wipe it. It's creating a bit of a, almost like a film look. You can see it's like all halated or baloomy. I don't know if the right term is for this, but you get a bit of like that nice hazy glowiness on my lights here. So who would have thought, but this Elgato teleprompter acts as a nice little filter for my lens. So I quite like the way, how soft it makes this look. So I was like, oh shoot, even if I don't have anything on the screen here, I might just keep this just for that purpose. So anyways, just a very, very random aside. So BC asked, what software do you edit on? I am about to start the video learning curve and I'm playing the game of which platform. Many have told me DaVinci Resolve and to avoid Adobe, LOL. I am a big proponent of DaVinci Resolve. So you can do a lot of it for free. Like their free version gives way more capabilities. It gives you a lot more functionality within a free version, to the point where you could probably last without ever needing the paid version for a lot of people. A lot of people don't need the paid one until you want to take it seriously. So I think it's what's the worst you can do, try the free version. Why not? What's the harm in that? And then if it doesn't work out, you didn't waste any money at least, right? So I think DaVinci is the way to go though. It definitely is the format that provides the most functionality, or not functionality, it provides the most quality for colors, all else equal. So yeah, I say hop on board. And if you do start to work in DaVinci, the benefit of watching my stream is obviously I'm also learning how to use DaVinci, so we can learn together. Wow, how about that? So yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. BC, if you would also like to, you don't have to just stick to one software. I think another one that's quite good is CapCut. CapCut, because that also is free, and their core strength is on mobile editing. They have a desktop editing as well, but the mobile app is really good. Honestly, it's what got me to the next level in video editing. Before I jumped into like trying to tackle a Final Cut Pro or a DaVinci or Premiere, all that kind of stuff, just being able to download CapCut, see all the templates that are out there on social media. So let's say for like the vertical reels and shorts, to be able to see, it's like, actually at this point, it would be in the millions. I don't know, however many different shorts and reels you can find that was created with CapCut. And then there's so many tutorials and templates that you can find on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, where it breaks down, here's how I did this effect in CapCut. And then they have the screen recording, like step 1, do this, 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 and this. It is way more intuitive to use CapCut versus any of the more expensive programs, in my opinion. BC says, I'm going to be hopefully diving into a lot of aviation work here soon for a client. They want predominantly video, so it's time to learn it and get good. Oh, well, very nice, man. I saw some Instagram reels a few days ago where I think, and honestly, this is also my biggest recommendation to everyone getting into content creation, is hook yourself up with one of these action cameras. I'm a big DJI fan, and I took this through the ringer You can see proof of it because I cracked the screen on literally the first trip, the CNN project that I was on in Uganda. Like one of the first days, I like slammed it on the ground, legit, like did a slamming motion, not intentionally, obviously, but my point is, I think these are well worth the investment and super versatile, but especially for solo content creators, because I can now just literally, you know, snap this onto my hat, just hook it up to a hat clip, and now it's like your point of view. Anything you see or whatever I see, you see, it actually does level up your ability to tell stories that are a little bit more engaging to a general audience. And so anyways, my point is, I saw someone who is an aviation photographer as well. I think he had the hat clip with the action camera, and you see him shooting with like a 70 to 200 or some kind of zoom in tele lens, and you see all the fighter jets flying by. And then, so you're seeing the behind the scenes to start the Instagram reel as he's, you know, tracking the shot. And then there was some kind of text about, you know, whatever the text usually is about, like before and after, or this is what my camera sees versus my main camera, my iPhone versus camera. It does the transition or the reveal, and then it just shows a series of really epic shots of the fighter jets. And it was from the ground, so it seems like, man, the cameras these days, I think, BC, you shoot Canon. I'm assuming your camera can shoot some crazy, probably 50 megapixel or 30, even 30, I don't know, whatever you've got. But it's kind of crazy how much you can punch in on the shot and get these really clean fighter jet, you know, photos. So yeah, anyways, I think maybe invest in one of those action cameras, slap that baby on, and now you're able to tell a cleaner story. And so maybe even your clients, let's say if they're asking for like social media content, that could be one example. It's still a video, you know what I mean? You're still putting it all together in a video timeline, but it's mixing in your photos that you capture, your high quality photos, with a little bit of behind the scenes as the start of your video. So yeah, it's a big recommendation I provide. BC says 66 megapixels and 30 frames per second. Yeah, you've got exactly what you need. So yeah, that's crazy. Anywho, so hopefully that's helpful. Here, let me put my microphone away. I did mention I was editing, or I was filming myself today. Hold on, I want to disconnect this microphone. Boom, boom, boom. Now this microphone I do recommend quite a lot. It's the Hollyland Lark. Come on, get your focus in there. Get your focus in. Come on, come on. All right, I give up. It's the Hollyland Lark Max 2. Really, really good. Super tiny profile, so it makes it's much better than using those bulky Rode Wireless Pro or even the DJI Mic 2. Although there is a Mic 3 now, and maybe I need to invest in that. That thing looks amazing. Okay, so what are we doing today? I've got a bunch of YouTube videos lined up already, and I mentioned that it's time for us to work on Sri Lanka. So I know previously we had started editing photos from Sri Lanka. So it's just going to be a continuation of that once I can find where the heck are those photos. This would be in 2024. It's probably in my 2024 Sri Lanka. There we go. Ooh, but I am excited to start editing my Sri Lanka photos, because now that we've discovered Dehancer for photo color grading as well as for video, I'm actually quite keen to see how it could evolve, you know, push my photos to the limit. So we've got this lined up, and technically we can start editing our Sri Lanka videos. And you know what? I haven't actually seen my videos that I filmed, the videos I recorded way back when. Man, it's been so long that I don't actually know what is it that I shot. So for example, let's open up a new project. Sri Lanka 2024. Is it 2024? Yeah. Okay, so BC, since you're here, or since you asked that question earlier, This is DaVinci. Obviously, you know, because I've edited within DaVinci, you've seen my streams. But usually when I open up a project for the first time, I need to see if there's a way to default this. There probably is, and I'm too lazy to figure it out. I go into the settings once so this is a new project, right? So at the highest level, we're in a project called Sri Lanka 2024. And then here, I open up the project settings on the bottom right, and I go to the section called Color Management. And by default, it's set to Rec 709 for the timeline color space and the output color space. The timeline is basically like the canvas. It's your video canvas that you work from. So within that timeline, usually the color space that's used is the Rec 709, which is, I think, like the most common, or it's like the most universal color space that all of the platforms use, like YouTube, social media, whatever it is. So it's in default Rec 709. However, the beauty of editing within DaVinci Resolve is within the proprietary software, within DaVinci's software, they have their own proprietary color space called DaVinci Wide Gamut / Intermediate. And the beauty of DaVinci Wide Gamut, and this is the reason, BC, this is the reason why a lot of cinematographers, you name it, the people who do video, why a lot of them swear by DaVinci is the fact that this DaVinci Wide Gamut color space is apparently a lot better than the other color spaces, or even the ones that the other software programs can give you. So I'm gonna, this is like the layman's version of my interpretation of it, because what do I know? But my understanding is this DaVinci Wide Gamut / Intermediate color space is really good. It gives you a lot more control over your colors. It has a lot more granular color selection that's possible. So anyways, what I do is I switch the timeline color space to DaVinci Wide Gamut / Intermediate, and then the output color space, which is just basically saying, like, once you output your video out of DaVinci, what do you want the color space to be? Usually you want it to be in Rec 709 so that it's compatible for all the social media platforms or whatever else you're using it for. Now, this is just from some YouTube video I watched at this point a couple years ago, but the one that was recommended is choosing Rec 709 Gamma 2.4, which is just like a more refined version, I guess, of Rec 709. Who knows? I don't know. I've just been doing this since the start of my DaVinci learning, so I keep it that way. Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. So then I hit save. So now we're good to go. So then I've got this project open. I don't really use this media pool as often as I should. And also there's all these new functionalities. There's a lot of new things ever since the latest firmware update. I generally work from this edit tab. Although I think I saw some YouTube video briefly that was saying that they highly recommend starting from this cut tab. I just don't know how to use it that much. I need to look into shortcuts and things like that, but we're not there yet. Okay, so the good news is, I have already transferred all of my Sri Lanka video, the raw videos, to my Mac Studio. So it's living on my hard drive for the quickest editing possibilities. Here they are. So I don't have to rely on an external hard drive to get this kind of work done. What should we do? Okay, let's start building out my bins. In case you're still listening, BC, bins is just like a fancy word, or I guess the DaVinci word, to represent like your folder structure. So at the parent level, at the most parent level, it's called master. And then usually the way I structure it, and I do need to kind of take a look at what's best for the structure, but usually the parent folder, what do I do? Do I do it by day? I think I do it by day. Hold on, let me think. I should probably look at my former... What do I do? Give me a second. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I forget my bin structure. Because it has to be easy to copy and paste. So I think I probably go by date. So let's say, or no, do I do it by type? Z9, Z8. I don't know. Let's go by date. So let's say this is March 13. And I usually just start with the first day first. So let's say here I'll do Nikon Z9, Nikon Z8, iPhone. What else did I shoot with on these trips? Yeah, it looks like it's always the same. Okay, so I used 3 cameras basically throughout this trip. And then, do I go one step further? I don't think so. I think this is all I do. Man, it's been a while. And it looks like I didn't do any audio or other type of work. I might have, I just don't have it on this yet. Okay, so then let's say if this is the structure, let's now go back to the master level, and then I just copy and paste this. I duplicate, man, I need to learn all of the shortcuts here. So how many days was this trip? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 folders, and so we can get to each one in a second. So let's say we start with the Nikon Z9. Now here, it looks like I shot, I have some MOV files. This was probably accidental because obviously I was trying to, so the MOV must have been from, MOV must have been from like Apple ProRes shots. Let me just drag those in, and then let's get the NEV files. And then the NEV files are my Nikon NRAW, the 12-bit. So everything is 12-bit. I just have a mix of footage. So I think some I accidentally shot in the Apple ProRes HQ versions, and then others I shot in the proper NRAW. Let's see if I have any MOV files here. No? Okay, so then I take all the NEV files, I filter for these, I drag it into the right folder, and then we had some iPhone footage. So just in case, let me drag those in. Let's go to the next day, Nikon Z9. Let's rename. Nikon Z9. Did I take any? There shouldn't be any more MOVs. So the first day I must have accidentally done it, and then I realized and corrected it so that it wouldn't happen again. So I think we're good to go. NEV. And the reason I'm doing this now is I just try not to get any of the MP4 files dragged into my project folders for obvious reasons, because the MP4, that's like the proxy file essentially. So it's like the low resolution versions of the actual footage that I captured. So I just don't want to accidentally ever drag that in. So I'd rather do this at the first step, at the onset basically, before we get really our hands dirty. So next day was March 15. Let's go to that folder structure. Let's go to all the Nikon shots here. Nikon Z9. Filter for NEV. Let's go to this and then drag it over. It's like the most mundane thing, but honestly, it's always better to get these steps done correctly from the beginning. Okay, Nikon Z8. And also to clarify, basically the top folder here represents my actual hard drives. And then this bottom folder here, or this bottom visual, represents these new folders that I'm creating within DaVinci. So, and it's not like it's not copying the it's not copying the footage to some new part of my computer. It's just copying it's like linking all the original hard drive clips to these new folder structures within DaVinci, if that makes sense. All right, iPhone, let's drag these in. All right, cool. Next day was March 16. Let's rename. Whoops. 16. All right, Z9, same exercise, NEV. Man, I'm kind of nervous because I mentioned this before. I'll keep mentioning this because it's almost my way of like giving myself an excuse in case the end result ends up trash. This is back in 2024, March of 2024. It took the entire year of 2024 and part of 2025 before I started understanding how to film properly. So just even the act of shooting footage, understanding the best types of footage, how to shoot, blah, blah, blah. It took me a while. And then on top of that, throughout this entire year of 2024 and 25, I didn't know how to be a filmmaker. I feel much more comfortable now. I got a long ways to go, but I'm more comfortable now. Back then, I had no idea how to even capture a story. So every day, I was just pointing and shooting at whatever I could see. So without any rhyme or reason, I would just film everything and anything and hope for the best in terms of like some salvageable, usable footage. So I have no idea. I'm nervous if even the things that I recorded throughout each of these days, is it actually going to be telling some kind of a unique story? I don't have a lot of faith in myself yet that it does. But the good news is my fallback is that I'm not trying to, at least for some of these countries, my goal isn't necessarily to tell a proper short film story. If I can, that's great. But my fallback is to at least be able to just do a travel vlog, you know, low stakes, not meant to be like, hey, wow, this is something super profound. You're gonna, you know, I'm gonna knock your socks off with whatever teachings and lessons you'll hear from me. That's definitely not gonna happen. But you know, we'll shoot for the stars, but hope for nothing. So yeah. All right, I'm done. So we've got starting from March 13. Now let's go into the actual editing timeline. So the way that I usually structure this, and I don't actually know if this is the right step to do. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. We'll call this timelines. We'll call a folder called clips. All right, here I should have done this from the beginning. So let me grab all these by day. Let me put it into clips. So all the clips are now in that folder. Then I'll have a second folder called timelines. Within timelines, I'll call one editing timelines. And then the eventual one that we'll work with is YouTube project. For now, we're just going to start with the editing timelines. And so the best way that I know how to work with this is I usually create an individual timeline based on every frame rate that I shot with. So I need to refresh myself on what frame rates did I use. I shot mostly, let's see, I have some 24 frames, 50 frames, 60, 24, 25. So I have some 24, 25, 30, 50. Jesus Christ, I made my life so miserable. Because I shot with basically every frame rate possible. 120, did I shoot any in 100 frames? Then I get the entirety. I did. God damn. Okay. Fair enough. So then all I need to do is I need to create a timeline for every single frame rate that I ever shot with. And the reason for this is because unless DaVinci changes something, unless it did change it, every project timeline can only have one frame rate. So the moment you change the frame rate to something else, I think it's usually you can't change it back. And the point is usually you can just stick to one frame rate per what do you call this? Per timeline. So we're gonna call this one 4K 24p. Sri Lanka. So we're going to keep this in 4K format, and then we're going to choose this 23.976 frames per second to be more precise. Okay. I think, can I just duplicate from here? I always forget. Here, let's try. Let's go to timeline settings. Can I change the frame rate? I can. Perfect. So the next one is we need a 25 frames per second one. Let's go with the full resolution H4K. How do I change the title? Oh yeah, I'll do that later. Okay, so this is 25 frames. Next one, 4K 30p Sri Lanka. So now we choose 30. Okay. Let's just duplicate 4K 30. So I need a 4K 50, 4K 60, 4K 100, 4K 120. All right. Now let's go into the settings. We'll change each one. So this is the 50 frames. This one is 60 frames. This one is 100 frames. And this one is 120. Now, BC, if you shoot in 120 frames per second, that one, it requires the paid version of DaVinci. That's actually the first reason why I decided to get the paid version. Was I was like, oh shoot, I mostly shoot in 120. 4K 50, 4K 60, 100, and then 120. Boom, Jesus. 24, 25, 30, 50, 60, 100, 120. We're good to go. Then I turn on this thing called display stacked timelines. Why? Because it lets me open up multiple timelines at once, simultaneously. So then that way I can easily switch between them as I start loading it in. All right, what's the next step of this boring, monotonous part of the job? Well, now I need to drag in all my clips to the correct timeline. So I usually, is this one? Okay, things look different. There must have been a part of the refresh. So I click here. How do I do the filter? Full clip segments. Oh, Jesus. I hate when they do updates and I don't know what's going on. Come on, how do I... Usually I would hit the search bar, yep. Metadata search? No. Search all. Okay, well, let's see if it works. 23. Why would they change this? Why are they trying to make me upset? Usually there would be a little filter drop down where I can say, hey, search only from frames per second. Within the FPS field, look for my value. But now that's all disappeared. You bastard. IntelliSearch mode, maybe? No. Reset, show film strip. I'm gonna lose my shit. Oh, here we go. Jesus. Okay, so I had to go choose metadata search, then filter by. Christ. Okay, now I can choose FPS. Okay, now I can look for every clip that I've got. And usually what I do is, how should I do this? Yo, what's happening, Cyronius? 12 months strong. Damn. Yo, thank you very much for the resub, my friend. Thanks for being a part of this community for this long as well. Damn. How's it been, Cyronis? It's been a while. I haven't streamed in a number of days, but hopefully all is well. Cyronis says lurk. Oh, well, enjoy your lurk. I appreciate you resubbing. And I'll catch up with you. You said, good, gotta get ready for PT, personal training, photography trip. Whatever it is, it sounds exciting. So enjoy. Again, I appreciate it. We'll catch up in DMs later about the whole, what do you call it? The Bella Box thing. But yeah, hope all is well. I appreciate it. Enjoy. All right, I gotta turn the fan on. All right. Oh, physical therapy. Is that what I said first? I think I said that, right? Yeah, PT. Well, enjoy. As much as one can enjoy physical therapy. Get better. How about that? All right. So, oh, you know what? I just realized something's off this whole time. You know what? This is what happens when you get off streaming for a while. I just realized my thing is not set up correctly. How do I fix that? Studio display. Well, at least it was an easy enough fix. Boom. Now I'm curious what else is broken. Jeez. Well, this is what I get for not paying attention. Oh, you know what? I forgot to make some posts. Give me a second. Here, let's put on my cat while we... you can't even see my cat. I'll put the pillow back there so when she's sleeping, she's a bit more visible. She's like buried in the pillow, in the bed. 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. All is well. All is fixed. We're back in it. Okay, I was gonna watch some videos, but I figured, you know what? It's kind of fun. I say fun, but it's refreshing for me to kind of talk through all the key steps that I normally have to do when I'm setting up these projects. So let's keep at it. So usually I put my videos now into the timelines, the respective timelines. So for example, this is the 24 frames per second timeline. And the only thing I've got that's 24 frames in Nikon, I have one clip from the Nikon Z9. So let's call this Z9. Then we got 2 from the Z8. Sometimes I don't bother to put these on separate timelines or separate tracks, but whatever, we'll see. We can always combine it later. So we've got the Z8 and the Z9. And iPhone, we don't have anything at 23. We've got 24, which is close enough. We'll just drag these in. So this is pure 24 frames. I don't think it'll be a big problem. So we'll call this iPhone. All right. And this is all from March 13. So one thing I've been doing is I try to color code just to distinguish between days. So for example, all of this in orange is from the first day, March 13. Now, what other clips do we have? So that was a 24 frames. Do we have any 30 frames? We do not. What about in the Z8? We do for Z8. Let me drag these in. Let's go to... Oh, wait, hold on. Hold your horses. Do we have 25? I like to go in order so I don't miss anything. We do have some 25 frames. So what does that mean? Let me go to my 4K 25p timeline, and then let's drag these two in there. We'll call this Z9. No, this is Z8. And just to keep things all the same, I'm going to put this in the same track. So this is Z8, track number 2. And that's it. And we will color code this orange. Cool. All right, next one. Now we can go to the 30 frames, which is actually 29 point whatever, but there they are. Let's drag these in. This is also from the Z8, so let's bring it up one. Z9, Z8. Okay, so these are all the clips for Z8 at 30 frames per second. And then for iPhone, I think it's a straight 30. Yep. Let's drag these over. iPhone. Boom, boom, boom. All right, what's next? 50 frames. We do have some 50 for the Z9. Let's go to the 50 timeline. Let's drag these over. I skipped a step. Let me go back. Let's turn all of this into orange. Now, I think it'll start making sense to anyone watching me do this. The reason that I try to do these steps the same way is I try to build a routine in my mind, in my muscle memory, everything possible. So that way, hopefully, if I skip a step, there'll be some kind of subconscious alarm bells going off saying like, hey, you forgot to do something. So I try to follow a pattern or routine and repeat it as much as possible, especially in the early steps, so that, because it's so monotonous, right? Like the task I'm doing right now, it's so repetitive, redundant, monotonous, whatever word you want to use. So I need to do whatever possible so I don't accidentally make a step, because the chances of making mistakes are pretty high here. So even me talking through these things, technically it could cause a mistake. So yeah, first step I search for the correct frame rate. We do have some 50 frame rates in this, and then I go in order. So first in the Nikon Z9, we've dragged it over. What about for Z8? We do have some in Z8. Let me drag that over, and then label this Z8. This one Z9. Let's shrink these up a bit. And then iPhone, do we have any 50s? We do not. Next step, let's grab all this, change the color to the same. This is all from the same day, March 13. All right, next one. Do we have any 60 frames? We do have 60 frames. We got plenty. So from the Z9, oops, I'm on the wrong. So we'll go to 4K 60, drag these guys in. Let's call this Z9. And then let's see if we shot any at Z8. We did. We got 4 clips there. Let's bring those in at Z8. And then for iPhone, it might be a straight 60. If we have it, we don't. All right, cool. Same as before. Let's grab all of them and color code. Cool, cool, cool. Is that it? Do we have any 100? We don't have any 100 or 120, it looks like. 100 just to make sure. Cool. What about Z8? All right, that's it for day 1. So we've got it all handled here. Now, one thing, however, that I want to double check is we have some MOV files. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think it should be fine. Never mind. I think it's fine. I think the same color grading principle works across it all. All right, next day, March 14th. Let's start from the beginning. Do I have any 24? I don't. I have 30 frames. What about Z8? I only have 30 frames. And then iPhone, I have 24. All right. So Let's start from the 24 frame timeline. Let's jump up a little bit and let me drag in the iPhone footage. Cool, cool. And that's it. These are the only two that I shot that day at 24 frames. We'll change the color. I don't know. We'll go in the opposite. So it'll be the chocolate color. Okay. Kick is bothering me because there's so much spam on Kick side. How do I forgot how to moderate. Let's go ahead and fix a few things here. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, we're good. All right, so just the two shots for 24. Let's move on to 25. Anything 25, going once, going twice, no. So let's go to 30 frames. At 30 frames, we do have, starting with the Nikon Z9. 30 frames, what about Z8? We do have plenty there. Let's drag it in. And then for iPhone, we have one. And just to be sure, let's see, is there any 30? We do, okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And we'll make this chocolate. Next up, do we have 50? Not in Z9. Z8, no. All right, do we have 60? We do. Let's hop over to the 60 timeline. Let's grab all of these guys. Jesus. Okay, so this is when we did our safari. 60 frames at Z9. Z8, we got plenty as well. And then for iPhone, do we have any straight 60s? We do. We got one. Really? No. I was going to say the quality looked too good to be an iPhone. All right, so that's all the 60s. Same thing, let's color code. So this is the next day chocolate. Do we have any 100s? We don't have one. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go to the 100. Now this one is for Z8. Z8, we took plenty. And this was a Z8. Let's bring it up one. And let's label this Z8. And then we have, oh yeah, let's color code this. This is going to be chocolate. 4K 120. We shot some here. And the Z9. And that was it. No more. Man, I'm kind of excited. Like I said, I'm trying to remember this Sri Lanka trip. So the Sri Lanka trip was in conjunction with Nikon. I was running a Nikon premium membership wildlife tour, basically, or like a tour. So it was, I think, like, only, yeah, well, you can see here, it was less than 6 days. So fairly quick trip, but going through parts of Sri Lanka. So I was there as the tour leader, and yeah, we did a bit of safaris and then just some like cultural stuff. But yeah, fun trip. All right, let's see. Do I have any 24s? I don't have any 24s. I do have it for the iPhone. Here we go. iPhone 24, there. And this is day number 3. We drag it to the iPhone section. And let's label this, what color? Day 3 will be yellow. Okay. Now, I do see there's 125 frames shot that day. Just the one? No, 2. I see 2 of them. And this was with the Z8. Let's color code this yellow. And that's it. Okay. Now I'm sure I shot in 30 frames. I did. Let's go to 30 frames. Let's drag these over. This is Z8. Whoops. What about Z9? Nothing? Really? Damn, son. Okay, I only shot 60 on that one. And then we've got some 30 frames here. Cool. All right, this is day 3, which we said was yellow. What about 50 frames? We got any 50s? Going once, going twice. 50. Nothing. All right, what about 60 frames? This one for sure we got, so give me them 60 frames. There we go. Z9, Z8 as well. Cool, cool. And then the iPhone, what do we got? Any 60s? No. Cool, cool. All right, let's color code to yellow. What about 100? Do we got any 100s? We do. We got some takers. All right, so I got 3 shots at 100 frames in the Z8, and that's it. All right, what about 120? Do we got any 120s? 1, nope. Nope. Damn, I didn't shoot anything in 120 that day. All right, all right. Okay, that's 120. All done. Cool. Next day. We're almost done now. March 16th. So same thing. We start from 24 frames. Let's see if we got anything at 24. We got 30. 30, 24. We do have 24 for the iPhone. Everything actually. Nice. That makes my life easier. So let's drag all of this over. And we're going to color code this what? Tan. We'll do tan color. What about 25 frames? There shouldn't be anything 25. All right. Okay, let's go to 30 frames. Z9. Z8. And then iPhone, we're good. So let's color code these to 10. Next up, do we got any 50s? Give me a 50. I do have one. I've got one taker. We got some for the Z8 as well. Whoops. All right, next up, 60 frames. Yes, perfect. $60 frames, Z8. We got plenty there as well. Hot damn. All right, and these are all 10. 100 frames, what do we got? 100s. We do. Perfect. Oh, I remember this. That was a fun trip. I've always, every trip I've been on has been fun. Good times, good times. I don't know who any of these people were, but we were on that train and people just having a good old time. All right, next one. So that's 100 frames. Now let's go to 120s. Z9. Tan color. Oh, shit, wrong one. Okay, so now we're done with March 16. 2 more days to go. Really 1.5 days. I think the last one doesn't have much. So we're in Z9. Let's check for 24 frames first. Nothing, nothing. And we got some for iPhone. How many we got? We got 3 for iPhone. And we'll make this color pink. All right, what do we got? Any 25s in the chat? 25, 25, nope. All right, what about 29? We got any 29s? 29, 29. We do have some takers. Let's go to 29, aka 30 frames. And this is in the Z9 section. Z8. Hells yeah, we had some cat footage. No trip is complete without a little bit of cat videos, right? We got one here. Cool. So this is all the 30 frames from that day, which was pink. Next up, that was 30. Do we got any 50s? 50 50s? 50 anyone? 50 50 50. No 50s. But we do have some 60s, right? Give me a 60. We do have some on the Z8. Z8, 60, and then I saw for the iPhone. Where are you? There you are. iPhone. Change the pink. Last but not least, wait, no. Do we have any 100s? Nothing. Okay, so that's it. We don't have any 120s then. Cool, cool, cool. All right, last day, which is just one, which is one clip. Perfect. It was from the Z8. Ooh, it's when I came home. You know what? One of the things that I've been doing for every travel vlog, I think without missing a beat, I don't think I've ever done a trip where I don't end up filming this moment right here, which is the moment I enter back home and thankfully being greeted by my cats. So it's always a question mark. Are they going to say hi to me? Are they just going to ignore me? Are they mad at me because I've been gone? You never know. You never know. Thankfully, they said hi. Actually, let's play it out. So this is my old house, my old apartment. Jesus, I left all the lights on. He was hanging out up there. He's not allowed to be there. How did he get up there? I don't even remember this. Here comes Nala. Yeah, so anyways, it's always fun to have these moments at the very end of my my travel vlogs. Look at the good girl. And there we go. So usually that's our signature ending to all my travel vlogs. Okay. Well, that's it, guys. We got the entire trip on all of our timelines. So now I can kind of go through each one, do all the color grading. We can kind of see if we've got any interesting stories to tell. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Worst case, this is just one quick video that we make, you know, just keep it casual and all that fun stuff. All right, so now that this is done, we're going to start doing the color grading, but it also means I can start watching some YouTube videos on the side. Ooh. Multi-camera. Hold on a second. This might be the most important video I watched today. It's called, what was it? IRL.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
IRL Showcase. MitMat 4D's multi-camera IRL backpack. Viewers can change camera angles. Well, that is something I'm looking to learn more about. So this is a video that I need to watch. Let me set up my timeline.
Cliff here with another video. This time it's a collab with MitMat, fellow content creator I met a year ago while he was here in New Zealand. We caught up, compared notes, and he was willing to do the first official IRL showcase where he shared his version 3 of his IRL backpack. I've invited him to share what he's been working on since then. So without further ado, let's check in on MitMat.
Hello and thank you Cliff for inviting me to do this collaboration. My name is MitMat 4D and I will be discussing my unique IRL multi-camera backpack. This is the multi-camera IRL backpack that I have assembled and built. We'll first start off with the cameras that I'm using as well and how they are connected into my bag. I have a DJI Pocket 3 connected to the Virus WL087 Pro. What this particular unit is capable of doing is converting the UVC output from the Pocket 3 and then converting it as a HDMI output, to then which I will feed a HDMI cable into the backpack into my bag.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention. This is the
multi-camera IRL backpack that I have assembled and built. We'll first start off with the cameras that I'm using as well and how they are connected into my bag. I have a DJI Pocket 3 connected to the Virus WL087 Pro. What this particular unit is capable of doing is converting the UVC output from the Pocket 3 and then converting it as a HDMI output, to then which I will feed a HDMI cable into the backpack itself. The next camera I am using is the Sony X3000 action camera in a 3D printed case.
This sounds like what Cyronius is sounding like Cyronius's style or format.
Now this utilizes a wireless HDMI transmission system itself, along with a power bank to provide long run times. There is a wireless receiver inside the backpack in order to pick up this wireless HDMI transmission from the Sony Action camera. And the third camera I am using is the DJI Action 4. This is connected via a UVC USB cable into this converter, which converts it from UVC into HDMI, is then fed into the backpack itself. All right, let's now talk about the backpack itself. Now on the outside, we have a fan blowing air in, and we have another fan on the side pocket here, also blowing air in. On the other side, we have a clamp mounted to a selfie stick. This is where the Action 4 is connected to. And this 3D printed bracket is what houses the UVC to HDMI converter. Let's now open up the backpack.
God dang.
Now on the top here, we have a OC GoStream Deck 4-channel HDMI.
Oh, he's using the OC. Interesting.
Underneath it, I have a 3D printed container, which houses the Orange Pi 5 Plus. That is acting as the BellAbox encoder.
Wow.
And we also have a travel router, the GL-iNet MT1300 barrel travel router. Now all three of those components are being powered off a V-mount battery here. And over here we have another power bank that is providing power to this travel modem. This here is the Netgear Nighthawk M7 Ultra. And the other device is the HDMI receiver that is receiving the video from the Sony Action camera. This is what the entire system looks like when being worn. I have the DJI Pocket 3 connected to a HDMI cable. I have the Sony Action camera connected to the wireless HDMI. And on the back, I have the Action 4 mounted onto the selfie stick. All right, now let's get started through the overview of how everything works. So essentially we have the main command of this entire project.
I need to subscribe on my
Twitch
proper
chat
YouTube channel.
Is able to redeem channel point rewards in order to change camera angles on the live stream itself. Now, overview, we have a home setup configuration, and then we also have the IRL backpack configuration. So let's go through the home configuration now. So here we have the home PC as the main item here. On the home PC, we have a few programs installed in order to have everything here work correctly. We have StreamerBot installed. We also have Tailscale VPN installed. And we also have a program called BitFocus Companion. What that allows us to do is to create an emulator deck that we can then change camera angles from using StreamerBot actions. Now let's look at the IRL backpack. So in the IRL backpack, we have the BellaBox encoder, which here is the Orange Pi 5 Plus. We also have a travel router, which also has the Tailscale VPN installed as well. That then allows for any device that's connected to the travel router to be detected via the home local network. Now, the travel router is then connected via Ethernet into the video switcher, the OC Go Stream deck. When a chat reward is redeemed, StreamerBot will detect it as an action and then triggers a BitFocus Companion command. That then is pushed through the Tailscale VPN network. Then the video switcher sees the command and processes it. That then feeds into the BellaBox encoder, which in turn gets fed back into the BellaBox cloud and back into our home OBS, which is then pushing out to Twitch stream, which then changes on stream. Me to test out the channel point redeems. I don't know if these cameras are going to be permanently labeled or positioned this way. How does that look with the backpack one? I'm scared. So I really do want to go to the beach side and all the locations of each of the cameras, right? So cam one, we two up, camera 1 and camera 3 is still active. So you can select that if you want to. Instead of the 2 up, 1 and 2, you can do 2 up, 1 and 3.
Thank you, Midmate, for sharing that with us. Let's see, we should probably start with a recap, right? Firstly, most IRL backpacks are single camera only, whereas his supports 3, while also giving viewers the ability to switch between camera angles. A couple of highlights I noticed. Very low latency between the cameras and audio, not subject to the same issues as RTMP streaming. He's also able to swap out any of those cameras for something nicer, like a full frame camera with zoom. But some of the downsides include the size and weight, all the bits and bobs, multiple points of failure.
It's such a British
bring the whole
thing,
thing down. I could go on, but I'll leave it there. What do you think of it? The size and weight, all the bits and bobs, multiple points of
failure. I mean, that's a reasonable one. I think the rest kind of works for what I do. Okay, that's for research later.
This video is sponsored by Anti-Gravity.
Before we watch some of these, I want to watch Casey Neistat saying, "I'm leaving New York City." What the hell, man?
Oil change, 2 new tires, new brake pads, new master switch for the power windows, and a fixed coolant leak.
It's a great way to get around.
You want to try it?
No, break my foot.
You sure?
Well, this thing moves.
Yeah. Now just give it a little bit of speed, just a tiny bit. Just a little bit of speed. There it is. There's my car.
Hi.
Okay, how are
How
you?
are you?
I'm
Good.
good. That was expensive. Piggy? Piggy, you want to go for a drive?
Oh,
So the wife and kids already left. They took a plane this morning. I have to take all these bags and the dog and drive there to go meet the family for vacation. But I get to take the dog. Go get it.
That's a good trade-off.
Ready? Forgot one thing. Stay there. All right, that's it. We're officially on the go. Goodbye, New York City. For now. Gas. So we go away every summer, get the kids out of the city, they go to camp. It's very exciting. That's what this trip is. Candace and the girls fly, I drive. I love it. But that's what this current adventure is. That's what this is about.
We went to Stop and Shop.
Did you get groceries?
I got like minimum groceries. They certainly got a lot of ice cream.
Stay here for 1 minute. Stay right here. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Quick pit stop in Mystic, Connecticut to see my best friend from like high school, my best friend in the whole wide world. He works here. I think.
What are the odds of this?
I was coming to surprise you, Joe.
This guy. Holy shit. You sure you don't want to bring her in?
No, leave her in the car. She definitely wants to go in. She'll cause trouble in there. Okay, it's 2 in the morning. I'm at a motel. It's 2:25 in the morning. I'm at a motel. And I have to leave this motel in like 2 hours to try to get on a ferry. I'll explain, but right now I gotta go to bed. Okay, it's now it's 4:30. Got about 2 hours of sleep. The sun is not out yet, but I can hear birds chirping. We got time to go.
Okay, my editing should get faster here because now there's no more iPhone footage since we're entering the higher frame rates. Oh wait, there might be a little bit more left. Never mind.
You gotta be the first one to get there. I'm not gonna be the first one to get there, but you gotta be the first one to get there. I shouldn't have slept in. I'm gonna be late. You really gotta be the first one to get there. This is gonna screw up my whole day. The whole summer. Shoot, I'm late. I'm doing good, how you doing?
How can I help you?
Drive on standby.
Straight standby?
Yeah.
Do you have any reservation
I
for
got
today?
not for today.
Nothing
no.
for today. All right, hard right.
Hard right. Okay, this is what we're working with here. In order to get your car onto a boat, you have to have a reservation. I don't have a reservation because to have a reservation you have to plan in advance. So you show up early and they put you on standby. could be an hour, it could be a week and a half. You never know. But I'm trying to navigate that right now.
And don't lock it.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Have a good day.
Well, I got this, but I still don't know what that means. Either I'm gonna get my car there soon or eventually. I'm hoping for soon. Is this one yours?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to move it up to the front?
I gotta get the keys. No, you're good right there.
If you want, I can put it right in the front.
No.
What is that accent?
I
Is
wish I could do that, but you can't.
You just let me know if anything changes.
is that like a proper New York
Just trying
accent?
to sweet talk him. So sometimes you come here and there's like 2 cars. You wait behind those 2 cars. And what happens is when other people don't show up and there's room on the boat, they then take the standby car, my car, and they put it on the boat. But today there's not like 2 or 3 cars. There's row after row after row after row of cars waiting to get on the boat. Then at the end of all those rows, there's another row, and that row goes all the way back. And at the very end of that row, that's me. That's my car. So I leave the car, and then I go and get on this.
Man, talk about how professional he is. Like how on another level he is with this. It's like he's got a drone ready to go, unless he like faked it somehow, but he's recording himself. He's got a camera set up inside the car. He's able to capture the audio and everything, and he's got the time and the wherewithal to be able to do drones at the same time. Damn.
This big, beautiful ship on foot. I walk on that big, beautiful ship. So now I have to carry as much stuff as possible. First rule of Boy Scouts, be prepared. I'm prepared for most any contingency.
Yo, what's
This is
happening?
my
Lone
folding
Star
wagon.
says, yo, who
Positively
we
will
watching?
not be able to
And how you doing? Well, good to see you. Who are we watching? This is the first video of today's stream of just like random stuff while I'm editing. It is of our boy Casey Neistat. I never actually figured out how you say his name. We'll go with Casey Neistat. So while I'm doing a bit of color grading, this is the first of many videos we'll kind of hop on here. How am I doing? I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for hopping in. I didn't stream for a number of days. I think last stream was... When was my last stream? I think it was like last Thursday or Friday or something like that. So it's good to be back. I had some hard drive issues, essentially. That was the biggest reason for why I wasn't streaming. And I was doing a lot of work off stream. So I finally finished all of my color grading of my most recent Uganda and Tanzania trips. So I've sent it off to my editor. I've put together I just recorded all of the talking head, my voiceovers. I have all the footage ready to go. I've thought through what the story structure is. Now I've sent it to my editor, so we're going to work together on trying to put this into like a nice little travel vlog episode. So that's what I did over the past number of days. I figured I had a few hours today to hang out with you guys. So that's what we're doing. And then in terms of what I'm editing now, this is from 2024, Sri Lanka. I did a trip to Sri Lanka. I was the photography leader and like the instructor for the trip. It was through Nikon. It was like a Nikon sponsored trip, and I was like the tour leader, and then there's a bunch of Nikon photographers who joined me essentially. And yeah, so I'm finally starting to kind of go through all the clips from that trip so that I can turn this into a freaking travel vlog episode as well. This is from March of 2024. So prior to this, we had just finished what? We finished Mongolia, right? We had finished the Mongolia travel vlogs on my YouTube channel. And that was from February of 2024, I think. So now we're on March 2024, Sri Lanka. After this trip, I have May. Where did I go in May? No. April, I went to Uganda I took a few photographers with me, so we have that. Then in May, I have a trip to Zimbabwe, and I think it's just Zimbabwe for the whole month. Then I have a trip to Vietnam for a whole month in July. Point is, I have so many trips to get through. So it's like, while I'm streaming, I get to at least show you guys now parts of my Sri Lanka trip. So I'm happy to finally make that kind of progress. The caveat I was giving earlier is that this is back in 2024. So don't expect the best quality. Don't expect the best captures, because I was still very much learning how to do video. So there's a lot of things I'll probably still end up doing wrong. The other thing I mentioned is this is also back when I didn't know how to tell a story either, or like I didn't know how I'm supposed to film things, what to look for in moments. So I was just machine gun filming everything that I could potentially film. So it's going to be a whole lot of nothings in between some good footage. And then I will do my best retroactively to review all this and see if we can spin a story from the footage that we got. So anyways, while I do that, we're going to keep watching this video from Casey Neistat.
Get everything on the fold. Ow! We'll not be able to get everything in the folding wagon, but I will be able to get a lot of stuff.
I'm always inspired by, I didn't watch a lot of Casey Neistat growing up or anything, but ever since we've been watching his videos, it is very, very inspiring. And I feel like I learn a lot just from watching this, because he makes it feel so effortless. Lone Star says, I'm here listening, just working. No problems at all. I appreciate you being here. He makes it so effortless, how he films these casual moments, how casual he sounds and conversational he sounds in everything he shares. And obviously there's a lot of work behind the scenes. Like obviously he had to set up his camera to get this shot. He set it up inside his car. He's doing all the setup and makes it feel like it was always there. So there's a lot I could learn just from watching his videos in terms of how to tell a story. Especially, I have no excuses, because he is also, as far as I can tell, he mostly does these kind of solo self-vlogging captures. So he also is not filming with a crew. It's not like he has a second cameraman who's filming him talking and getting all the right shots. It's just him and his dog, right? So if he's able to do this, I have no reasons why I shouldn't be able to do the same. Now, he lives in New York City, where every day you could go outside and there's something to film, and it's awesome. I live in Dubai, where 80% of the time it's going to, basically my camera will melt. And a lot of places you're not really allowed to film people. Like you can't just you can't spy on people with your camera, basically. So yeah, a lot more restrictions when I'm at least in my home place.
One bag for Franny, one bag for Georgie, one bag for me, one bag for Candace. Okay, that's it. Now I leave my car. I'll see it again sometime. I don't know when, but I'll see it again sometime.
Are you going on board?
I'm going on board.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that is how you unsuccessfully get your car, don't get your car onto a steamship authority ferry. We're on it though.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the motor vessel Woods Hole. I'd like to take a moment of your time to acquaint you with our vessel.
Two hours. Land ho. If you look closely on the horizon, there's land there. We're almost there. We're getting close.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be arriving shortly in Nantucket. All walk-off passengers will be exiting the vessel by way of the vehicle deck. All passengers will be departing before the vehicle. Passengers should start making
Piggy, where are we? Where are the bunnies?
Man, what a cute
Well,
ass dog.
I made it. I guess this is the start of summer vacation.
$10 long, but that 10 minutes flies by. Again, it's his masterpiece. Him and his. Well, actually, I wonder if it says music by. My assumption is he has an editor, but then again, it's like the stuff that he's shooting isn't that crazy. That's the thing. Point is, he makes it seem easy.
Hello, Metro.
All right, so that was our boy Casey. What's next? What's next on the docket while we finish editing? I did finish all the general color corrections. Now we're gonna do the proper grading. We got Marquise Brownlee.
Not say her name.
Ooh, I might want to watch this first. What is his actor's name? I really like him, and I always forget. I feel like I've got to be. I'll pat myself on the back. I think I was one of the first to call him the Temu version of Matt Damon. But now, having said that, I feel like I have to eat my own words, because in many ways, in many respects, he might actually be a better actor than Matt Damon. And it's not even a knock on Matt Damon. I feel like this guy has way more presence when he's on camera. Matt Damon's amazing. This dude is like memorable. The emotion he wants you to feel feels palpable. You know what I mean? What's this guy's name though? Jesus. Because now I keep thinking Matt Damon. I'm sure it's in here. Jesse Plemons. Okay, Jesse Plemons. All right, let's check this out.
You do not say her name. We believe. Do not say her name. You do not say her name. We believe.
There are very few performances in recent years that I consider truly exceptional. Now, there are plenty of good performances, but rarely ones where I can watch and feel like this person completely immersed themselves within the role, and not in the tacky, superficial sense, but genuinely got lost within it. Jesse Plemons as Teddy Gatz in Begonia is one of those roles.
You should really appreciate how super professional I'm being right now by not gutting you.
And one where, for whatever reason, the Academy seemed to just not care at all.
That film is perfect to me.
Yes.
What about Jesse Plemons?
Jesse Plemons was snubbed, unfortunately.
Well, not by me.
This is frustrating because here's a guy who, in recent years, has become arguably one of the most in-demand actors working, with the talent to back it up. People have compared him to the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman in terms of talent, and honestly, they're not far off. Both are masters of subtlety, both are slightly unconventional looking actors who do not fit the clean, polished movie star mold, and both have this rare ability to make an ordinary person feel enormous from the inside. Like Hoffman, Plemons can bring emotional force without turning it into a showcase.
He's making all this up as he goes along.
Just what?
You know what?
What?
Just please.
Just please.
Sir, please.
Sure. Yes.
Just
speak.
Let me.
But it was not always like this. He started acting as a kid in commercials, small movie roles, and guest spots on TV before getting his first real breakout as Landry Clark on Friday Night Lights.
Transitioning out of like child actor, going through the awkward phase as every teenager does, and became the token like troubled kid on all the procedural shows. Like
that role gave him a kind of everyman warmth. Landry was awkward, funny, loyal, insecure, and easy to underestimate. Plemons' later career works partly because of that foundation. He's always had this normal, familiar quality about himself.
We're forgetting that maybe we're forgetting that we're a lot stronger together than we're ever gonna be alone.
But over time, he learned how to weaponize that normalness. His career took a sharp turn when he played Todd Alquist on Breaking Bad. Todd revealed something much darker in him as an actor. He played him with a blank politeness that made the character eerily calming. And when you find out how nonchalant his attitude towards violence really is, it paints a much more sinister picture.
I'm real sorry.
I really am, but did I make a mistake, Mr. White?
Todd wasn't loud or theatrical or even obviously evil. He smiled, followed instructions, and spoke softly, committing horrible acts with the emotional temperature of someone casually going about their day. That performance completely changed how people saw him.
If you could just see that, I'm motivated and I've got connections.
After Breaking Bad, he became a favorite for filmmakers who needed someone capable of carrying tension without ever really forcing it. In Fargo, he brought sadness and desperation to an ordinary man trapped by bad decisions. In Black Mirror, he turned boyish insecurity into something controlling and cruel. He could suggest resentment, fear, or menace by actually doing less. And because of this, we rarely ever saw him in a more manic role. And Begonia was the perfect catalyst for this kind of performance.
No, Don, you don't understand.
It takes all the things he usually does quietly and turns the volume up by giving him a character whose entire inner world is collapsing in public.
Just forget it. It's done.
Teddy is not just some one-dimensional antagonist. He is a conspiracy theorist, yes, but the movie does not present him as some random internet lunatic with no reason behind his paranoia. He's a beekeeper, a low-level worker connected to a pharmaceutical company, and his mother Sandy was left comatose after a clinical trial connected to that company.
You killed my family.
So his madness isn't born out of nothing. It's born out of grief and humiliation and the feeling that no one powerful will ever answer for what happened to him. Teddy's delusion is attached to a real wound. He's been hurt by a system that is too big for him to fight directly.
You killed my community, you killed my coworkers, you killed the bees.
So he turns that system into something he can actually interrogate or understand. And that something becomes its CEO, Michelle, who in his mind is not just a powerful woman running a pharmaceutical company. She's an actual alien invader.
Primarily, I'm not an alien.
You are. I've done thermal imaging on your face. I'm supposed to believe you're a 45-year-old woman? Human woman?
And the first thing you notice about him is the contradiction between how ridiculous he sounds and how seriously he carries himself.
There's really no time for this. You are.
I'm not.
His beliefs are insane on the surface. The aliens are sending signals, the bees are dying, humanity is being controlled, and there's a coming lunar eclipse. And yet he speaks with complete conviction in his ideals. He believes he has figured out the hidden structure of reality, and everyone else is too numb, too bought off, or too stupid to see it.
How can you tell she's an alien?
The signs are obvious. They did a hell of a job on it, but the tells are there.
There is this strange, almost pathetic dignity to him. He's wrong in the way he processes the world, but he's definitely not lazy, seeing as it's something he thinks about constantly, building charts, theories, and essentially turning his grief into his own research.
I wouldn't say that exactly.
Wow, I would say that exactly.
And oddly enough, he's actually really smart. The intelligence here is not faked, it's just misdirected.
I just think your research is a bit out of date, Teddy.
Yes, I'm well aware of what you've all been telling us.
He's not stupid in the simple sense, just a person drowning in information who has mistaken obsession for clarity. Clemens plays that perfectly.
A movement is made up of many people. I did this all on my own.
The kidnapping scene reveals how carefully he balances fear, rage, and insecurity. Teddy may be the captor, but he never feels completely powerful. When he and Don take Michelle, kidnap her, and cover her in cream to stop her from supposedly signaling to other aliens, Teddy is acting out a fantasy of control. But throughout the entire time, there's an underlying sense of panic.
I'm a guy that knows what the f is happening, and you will not defeat me, you sick Andromeda.
He needs the cruelty to seem logical because if his behavior stops making sense, then he's no longer a soldier saving humanity. He's just a frightened man hurting another person.
It's not torture. Torture is what it's done to us.
And he can't be the only one in on the delusion. So he brings along Don, his brother, who becomes his assistant.
I know this is a lot. I want you with me on this. I need you, Don.
Clemens plays Teddy with a mix of affection and manipulation towards him. He can care about another person, but his belief system always comes first. Whatever warmth he has is almost always second to the mission.
Don't you ever apologize, ever. None of this is your fault.
There's also something sad in the way Teddy leads Don. He wants to seem like the strong one, the informed one, and his protector, but you can feel how much he depends on Don's presence to keep himself from unraveling.
It's not in control anymore. We are. I'll be doing most of the talking anyway.
He's a damaged man borrowing confidence from the fact that someone else is willing to follow him. And with Michelle, the insecurity begins to show. He has the physical control, sure, but she often takes the psychological advantage.
You want the bees to be dying so that it can be my fault, and you don't have to think about the real reasons why species die. Immunodeficiencies, changing habitats.
Some of these scenes feel like a man trying to fend off the emotional turmoil of his own doubt. The more Michelle sounds human, the harder Teddy has to insist that she is not.
It's trying to gain your sympathy. That shitty way that you feel right now, that's how it wants you to feel.
If Michelle is human, then Teddy is a kidnapper and a torturer. If she is an alien, then he's a hero. So every denial, every reaction, and every moment of pain in his mind has to be twisted into proof.
It's not a person named Michelle Fuller. It's the Fuller humanoid, that's all it is.
He can handle her being cruel. He can handle her being manipulative or lying, but he cannot handle her being recognizably human. Any flicker of doubt has to be killed immediately.
You're right to distrust me. You are. I lost myself somewhere.
Michelle becomes the human face of every institution he can't reach. A man with legitimate pain who's built an illegitimate worldview around it. Someone with anger that makes sense, but with no real healthy place to put it. And as the film goes on, Teddy's structure slowly collapses. Early on, he has rules and a proper timeline, but the longer Michelle survives and pushes back, the more his certainty starts to crack.
We were having a nice dinner, but now we're not.
And when the cop, Casey, shows up, Teddy is forced to deal with the normal world again. Casey is not Michelle. He's not some symbolic corporate monster. He's not part of the alien mythology that Teddy's built.
So you must know about the Fuller case?
I mean, I heard a little, yeah.
He can tell himself that hurting Michelle is part of the mission, but Casey is harder to justify. In that moment, Teddy's excuses run out, and what remains is the willingness to sacrifice anyone who threatens the story he needs to keep believing. By the end, Teddy feels ridiculous and tragic all at once.
No, you came here to kill us. You came to kill us.
Well, that's wrong. That's wrong, Teddy.
He becomes a man so desperate for the universe to make sense that he destroys his own humanity trying to prove he was right. Underneath all the Andromedon paranoia and the end of the world logic, he's still just a broken man trying to make sense of his own trauma.
Can they see through here?
Oh, no.
Can they see in here?
No.
And Jesse Plemons executes all of this without ever giving you too much. That's the difference between a good performance and a great one.
Some of the craziest scenarios I've ever gotten to play as an actor. But it was so much fun.
All right, short and sweet. I like it. Jesse Plemons, man, he is actually that good. He really is. I like this guy a lot. Okay, what do we got next? Fedorevsky, if he hops in here, we can hang out, watch his video, The Molino Park. Lone Star says, this was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Begonia. I watched it not too long ago. I mean, it didn't come out that long ago anyways. Fantastic. I like it. I'm a sucker for, how do you say, sci-fi, quirky, adventurous movies, you know? Sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, things like that. And that one fits the bill. You know, it's got a bit of intrigue. It leaves you guessing all the way till the end, kind of a thing. They keep what do you call it? Raising the stakes throughout. So I thought it was fantastic.
What makes this voiceover?
In praise of brilliant voiceover, I think that might be worth watching because especially now that I'm doing a lot of YouTube videos, one of the things that I've struggled with the most is trying to figure out how do I insert my voice correctly, you know, like what's the tone of voice? What's the tone? Yeah, what is the right tone to pitch? Jesus, I don't know what the right words are to use here. Yeah, figuring out what's the right way to include my voice when I'm doing, let's say, a travel vlog, or if I'm doing some other, like a product review, things like that. There is my live stream voice, which is what you guys are hearing now, which is like, hey, you know, this is like me chatting as I normally would with my buddies, let's say, with fewer curse words. And then there's like the more serious ones where it's like a talking head and there's a script involved and I have to be a bit more poetic. I don't know if that's the right word. Poised. But I don't know if I've struck the right tone yet in between. Anyways, let's watch this. Let's see if this is what I need to learn.
For film ruiningly bad.
They don't.
What makes this voiceover film-ruiningly bad?
They don't advertise for killers in a newspaper. That was my profession.
While this,
as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
What makes this voiceover film-ruiningly bad?
They don't advertise for killers in a newspaper. That was my profession.
Okay, what makes that bad? Well, I mean, the voice sounds a bit robotic, but you know, I don't remember enough from Blade Runner to remember if that's kind of the point, to have like a robotic tone to it. So yeah, there's not as much emotion, I guess, in how he's talking, and the intonation feels a little bit too structured.
While this,
as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
That one, why do I like it so much? Damn it, I don't know what the right answer is. But I think for me, it's like, here he sounds like he doesn't give a shit, you know? Like, the tone of voice is very just like, yeah, it's more conversational.
Bad.
They don't advertise for killers in a newspaper. That was my profession.
While this,
as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Also, he didn't really pause in his sentence, so it feels a bit more natural, maybe? I don't know. We're just guessing here.
Is one of cinema's most iconic openings.
To begin, how to start.
An adaptation written by Charlie Kaufman, a fictional version of Kaufman is attempting to write the screenplay for the very movie we're watching. After battling writer's block for most of the film and making very little progress, Charlie finds himself at a screenwriting seminar.
I'll start over. I need to face this project head on.
And God help you if you use voiceover in your work, my friends. God help you.
This advice, given by a fictional version of Robert McKee, the real author of one of the most renowned screenwriting books of all time,
Any idiot can write voiceover narration.
is not that much of an exaggeration of the slightly more nuanced advice he gives in his book, where he still
Look who's coming over here again. What are you looking for, Nala? What are you looking for? She smells something. You smelling me? Oh. I forgot I had some treats left over. Good girl. Here, I'll show you guys. I gotta be careful that I don't make too much noise so that my other cat doesn't come rushing over here. Because the moment he knows food is involved, he goes crazy. Look at this beautiful girl. That's basically it. Alright, good girl. That's it. Ugh, you lick my hand like that? Okay, let's keep going.
calls voiceover narration an indolent practice and says the trend threatens the future of our art.
It's flaccid, sloppy writing.
There are plenty of reasons to be skeptical of voiceover.
And family photos? Replicants didn't have families either.
Film is a largely visual medium, and voiceover can be used as a crutch to deliver clunky exposition or reveal a character's innermost landscape.
I see myself from the outside.
Instead of doing the difficult task of figuring out how to reveal those things through a character's actions, or trusting the audience to pick up on the subtext that's on screen. Lazy voiceover can be one of the most cringe-inducing forms of bad writing there is in movies.
Sushi. That's what my ex-wife called me.
So I get why the advice to never use voiceover has become so common and why so many people say they hate it, but threatens the future of our art? I find it a little bit ridiculous because
I am unconcerned.
Medevac, come in.
I am beyond their timid, lying morality.
some of the best movies of all.
Is that Apocalypse Now or something? I feel like that's a movie I haven't seen that everyone says I should watch. That's my guess. This is Apocalypse Now?
On their timid, lying morality.
Some of the best movies of all time use voiceover.
To me, It meant being somebody in a neighborhood that was full of nobodies.
Some of my favorite film screenplays use voiceover.
On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
And I believe it can be used artfully to help tell
why
a
do I keep
story,
Fight Club?
just like any other tool at a filmmaker's disposal. But what separates the truly terrible from the great? There's an extended cut of this video with some longer examples available on Nebula. If you want to watch that version, click the link in the description below. As McKee points out, bad voiceover is redundant, lazy, and overly expositional.
Whatever was in the bathtub was not human. Replicants don't have scales.
But then you have this.
You only live on this earth once. And to my opinion, as long as you're around, we should have it nice.
When we talk about iconic voiceover, Terrence Malick's second film, Days of Heaven, is one of the first movies that springs to my mind. It's hard to put a finger on exactly why Linda Mann's childish, poetic ramblings work so well throughout the film.
I met this guy named Ding Dong.
Nala, stop.
He told me the whole earth is going up in flames.
But maybe the magic is in its authenticity, because it is, in effect, childish, poetic ramblings. John Bleasdale recounts the story of how this bit of voiceover came about in his biography of Malick. Apparently, Malick wanted Mans to read the voiceover he had scripted, but at the recording session, she was much more interested in simply retelling a Bible story she'd overheard where she was staying.
There's gonna be creatures running every which way. Some of them burned, half their wings burning. People are gonna be screaming and hollering for help.
Malick ended up loving her off-the-cuff storytelling so much they basically just played the whole movie for her and let her riff over top.
He was tired of living like the rest of them, nosing around like a pig in a gutter.
And then took bits of voiceover they liked and painstakingly painted them throughout the film wherever they worked, sometimes playing a single line on loop through the entire movie to find the perfect fit.
He figured some people need more than they got, other people got more than they need. Just a matter of getting us all together.
What makes this voiceover work so well is that it's not just being treated as a way to convey information or exposition. Instead, Malick applies the same artistic process of discovery to the voiceover that he uses for every other part of the films. And he allows Linda Mann's offbeat ramblings to shape the tone and texture of the movie, which toes a line between innocence and something more foreboding, even in its imagery. This kind of vague poetic connection between the voiceover and the plot wouldn't work for every movie, but what's most important here is that this approach to the voiceover complements the overall feeling and style of the movie. And this is one of the biggest things that I think sets great voiceover apart from the bad. Voiceover has a unique power to set the tone of a film.
Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy.
Whether it's the stumbling first lines of The Big Lebowski.
Wow. Lost my train of thought here. But, hell. I done introduced him enough.
The stoned haziness of Joanna Newsom's voiceover for Inherent Vice.
Does it ever end? Of course it does. It did.
Or the austere, detached, almost history documentary style of Michael Hordern's narration for Barry Lyndon.
The United Kingdom was in a state of great excitement from the threat, generally accredited, of a French invasion.
Whoever's performing the voiceover essentially becomes the voice of the movie, and the qualities of that actor's specific voice, along with the emotional tenor of the performance, has a huge influence on how the overall film ends up feeling. If the reading of the voiceover feels dry, lifeless, or forced in any way, the movie itself ends up feeling lifeless as well. So it's a tool that must be used with care, but when it works, it can be magical.
He installed himself in a rocking chair and smoked a cigar down in the evenings as his wife.
Ooh, is this the assassination of Jesse Pink? Oh no, not Jesse Pink. It was Jesse Pinkman. Jesse James, right? I think I watched this a long time ago. Enjoyed the movie a lot. Never watched it again. It's on my list of things to rewatch, though. I think that's it, right? It's Brad Pitt.
Wiped her pink hands on an apron and reported happily on their 2 children.
It's the specific blend of voiceover, imagery, and score that really lingers in my mind when I think back on the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
They didn't even know their father's name.
Like with Days of Heaven, This voiceover also came about as the result of a happy accident. I'd always wondered who this voiceover was. It's not a recognizable actor, but it has such a unique quality. And while flipping through Roger Deakins' new book, I was delighted to learn it's actually one of the film's editors. Hugh Ross had recorded himself reading the voiceover as a temporary placeholder to edit to, and director Andrew Dominic ended up loving his reading so much that they kept it for the final film. Voiceover inherently breaks the film away from strict realism. That's only bad if you think realism is somehow inherently the best stylistic approach to filmmaking. If the formal narrative presentation of the film is more theatrical or stylized in some way, then voiceover can be a very effective tool. I find the best uses of voiceover lean into what makes narrated stories interesting. There are a couple ways you can do this. Sometimes, like in the Royal Tenenbaums, the voiceover is presented as if it is the literal reading of a book.
Royal Tenenbaum bought the house on Archer Avenue in the winter of his 35th year.
I recognize that voice. What is it? It's one of the Baldwins. That's all I remember.
Which is maybe not that interesting if the movie is actually a book, but it adds a layer of meta irony and creates an interesting framing device for the film when that book is fictional.
No one in his family had spoken to him in 3 years.
When what has felt like an omniscient narrator shows up halfway through The Big Lebowski,
You got a good sarsaparilla?
Sioux City sarsaparilla?
Yeah, it's a good one.
we almost get the sense that the dude is coming into contact with God himself. In Sunset Boulevard, the narrator is dead, somehow speaking to us from the great beyond. And in Double Indemnity,
Yes, I remembered. Just like I remembered what you had told me, Keys.
the voiceover takes the form of a confession.
And how there was no getting off till the end of the line. Where the cemetery was.
Or the narration can lean into a more deliberately literary quality, making use of interesting language.
But once he perceived that he would never see Jesse again, Frank would be wrought up, perplexed, despondent.
Sure, film might be a visual medium, but when you use narration, you suddenly have the entire world of artistic and stylistic possibility that literary writing provides.
But what does a doctor avail in a contest with the grim, invincible enemy?
Everything that can give language in a book an interesting style can now be applied to the voiceover. Whatever the approach, most great voiceover feels a little inherently theatrical. The characters may not speak naturally, but they aren't just robotically reading the details of the plot. They're telling a tale, performing a story for the audience. The more casual ramblings of Linda in Days of Heaven leaves you feeling like you might be one of the workers sitting across the fire from her after a day of working in the fields.
You figured there must be something wrong with them. The way they always got no luck.
The same goes for Newsom's narration in Inherent Vice, where it feels like we might be listening to her spin a yarn at the very restaurant the character appears at in the film.
Man, oh man, never be surprised at the levels of disrespect within the LAPD.
You might be noticing that much of what makes great voiceover is similar to what makes good writing or good performance. And as with both, it's best to show instead of tell. Wait, how can voiceover be used to show? Isn't it inherently telling?
To me, being a gangster was better than being president of the United States.
Goodfellas leans heavily on voiceover from the main character, Henry Hill.
In the summer when they played cards all night, nobody ever called the cops.
The film is essentially framed as a story we're being told by Henry himself, and the voiceover is lyrical, inventively written, and helps us understand the world of the mobsters. But if it was just that, I don't think it would work that well. What really brings the voiceover in Goodfellas to life is not what Henry is telling us, it's what the way he tells the story is showing us.
At 13, I was making more money than most of the grown-ups in the neighborhood. I mean, I had more money than I could spend. I had it all.
The advice to show rather than tell originally comes from literature, but when it's applied to film, it's easy to think it means literally using images on the screen to show something rather than using words. But I think that's the wrong way to interpret the advice. Instead, show don't tell isn't trying to drive us away from using words, it's guiding us away from simply stating or explaining what's going on with a character, a major theme, or a development in the plot with those words.
Replicants weren't supposed to have feelings. Neither were Blade Runners. What the hell was happening to me?
Instead, what's usually more engaging for the audience is to reveal important details and character revelations in the subtext of what's being said, essentially allowing us to read.
Okay, it is now 10:30 p.m. I wasn't planning to stream too much today. Nala, what are you doing here? So I feel like this is a good time for me to call it a night, catch up on the rest of my stuff. I still have some storage hard drive issues to take care of, so I'll have a call with the right people tomorrow. Nala, you want to say hi? Say some words. Give us your best words. All of your words, you know, Nala? What are your best ones? Huh? Nothing to say? What do you got to say?
Read between the lines.
You gonna hit play? Are you a good girl? You're a good girl. Yeah. Alright, she's got nothing to say. But look at this baby. Alright. I don't know where Kimbap is. Okay, I think this is, like I said, probably a good place to chill for the day. I should be back tomorrow. What's on my docket? So right now, just to kind of recap where we are. Let me exit this. We are on to Sri Lanka. So today I've kind of organized all the files from the Sri Lanka trip based on all the frame rates. I've only just started going through some of the color grading. We've done we've done like a quick little rinse over with the color corrections. So most of the files are color corrected. However, now I'm going through some of the key footage and I'm trying to do a bit of color grading. So example here, and I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just trying to see if I can apply a bit of that dehancer look to my shots, and then see if we can have a bit of consistency with all my footage when possible. So this is a fun little moment where I was hanging out with some monkeys at a temple. But Sri Lanka specifically, we have a number of safaris that we did. So as we get into like the 60 frames per second footage and the 100 and 120 frames, we'll start getting into some cool shots, I think. Oh, I realize I need to fix this. Okay, hold on. I did the wrong... I knew something was off about this, but I couldn't put my finger on it. It's because I did the wrong color correction. These ones look fine. I think this is all fine. But then once we switched over, I forgot to... Right now, basically, it thinks I'm converting some it looks like I'm converting some red files. Let's see, where did I make that mistake? These ones. Yeah, these are all wrong. Why did that happen? From where did we not carry it over? Ah, perfect. Okay, so let me just drag before I forget. Click on this. There we go. Yeah, because I was looking at these thumbnails and they all looked nasty. It looked like the colors were a bit distorted, but I wasn't really paying attention, so I just kind of like glossed over it. But now I can see it's because I didn't actually put the right color space in. Let me just drag these. And let's fix it. There we go. All right, I think we're in a better spot. So, we're gonna have a bunch of like these kind of a little bit of wildlife footage. I don't know how amazing the captures were. There's a few cool moments for sure from Sri Lanka, but it wasn't like I had the best sightings ever. I had some cool shots of this owl that I captured in 8K. I do have some leopard shot that I also filmed in 8K. So yeah, we'll be going through all of this, trying to clean these up, see what's the best of the best. Yeah, this leopard shot, I have a bunch of this in 8K footage, so that was cool. And then we had, oh yeah, this was the one I did the photo moments as well. So we have some cool shots to go through of this dude. Some at the temple. And then we had some train ride. There's a bunch of shots in 100. What is this? Oh, this is at 60 frames. I wonder if I did any in 120 frames. There were a bunch of, there's like this girl group that was on the train, and then basically I offered to take their photos and videos, which I usually do anyways. So it was good practice for me. And then this dude was the best, because he saw after all those young girls were doing it, he was like, hey, let me get a shot at it. Nobody died, thankfully. All right, so we're gonna have a bunch of those to go through. What else do I got? So all of these will do like actual color grading. Yeah, there's another couple here that I filmed and then sent over some of the photos. There's a whole ass party in the train, which was fun to capture. This guy. Anyways, fun trips, you know. And then train. Oh yeah, and then we were capturing the train going by. Oh, did it pause here? So yeah, anyways, we got some stuff to go through. What, was there any crazy wildlife? Let's see. A lot of monkeys. And then at 120 frames. Yeah, so some like typical wildlife, not the craziest, not the most boring. We got mediocre, all right? We got some mediocre stuff to play with, but hopefully we'll turn it into some, you know, cinema gold. And then afterwards, I'll start to try to figure out, is there a nice voiceover narration that I can apply to turn it into just like a nice travel vlog episode. I think this is one that I can turn into a single video. Yeah, it's like a 6-day trip. We just did a couple safaris and then some, you know, bits of like cultural moments like train rides and things like that. So I think I could fit all of this into a single video, and then we can move on to the next one. So anyways, that's kind of what we got on the docket. Yeah, so we did the color correction. We'll do color grading tomorrow. And then we didn't do any photo edits today, but I'll obviously focus on the Sri Lanka photos as well. Just as a quick little recap. I remember... What did we end up editing? Oh yeah, so we have some cool shots here from that first day. Dun, dun, dun. This one we had finished editing. That was a fun one. So we had the leopard. Nice, clean shot. But I want to run this through Dehancer. So we'll do this tomorrow. We're going to run these through Dehancer. Did we edit any of these? We only edited one from this day, and then I don't think we made it to this day. Yeah, so we got plenty of stuff to go through. Hey Nala, all right, let me feed my cats. This is clearly a sign that she just wants food. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else from you? Any final words, Nala? What do you got to say? All right. Don't destroy my computer. Thank you guys. Fun stream. I will be back. Oh, and again, thanks for being here after I've been gone for like a week or so. Yeah, we'll get back into a normal schedule. I have a few things, like I said, to fix my hard drive situation. So fingers crossed that it doesn't get worse. But yeah, you never know. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day, afternoon, evening.